Most car launches focus on speed, screens, and spectacle. But what if the real reasons cars fail have nothing to do with horsepower or battery range? Every year, millions of vehicles quietly degrade because of water exposure, road salt, harsh ride quality, and interfaces that become harder to use with age. Tesla didn't hold a flashy event this time, but behind the scenes, meaningful changes may be taking shape. Changes aimed at durability, comfort, and long-term ownership. And surprisingly, these updates seem designed for drivers many automakers overlook. Today, we're breaking down why the Model 2 Senior Edition could be one of Tesla's most important vehicles yet. Most people imagine car damage as something sudden and dramatic, a crash, a breakdown, a warning light that appears out of nowhere. But in reality, vehicles usually fail slowly, quietly. Day by day, mile by mile, exposure adds up. Flooded intersections after storms, salt spray during winter months, coastal air filled with moisture. These conditions don't make headlines, but they attack vehicles relentlessly. In the United States alone, over 40% of drivers live either near a coastline or in regions where roads are treated with salt for several months each year. That means millions of cars are routinely exposed to corrosive environments. Metal fasteners oxidize, wiring insulation weakens, suspension components seize. None of this happens overnight, which is why it's easy to ignore. But over time, the damage becomes unavoidable. Modern cars, despite advanced technology, are often more vulnerable than older ones. Tighter packaging, more electronics, and complex underbody designs leave less room for error. Water that might have drained harmlessly decades ago now finds its way into sensitive areas. This is the reality most automakers rarely talk about, but it's exactly the reality many drivers live with every day. Water damage is one of the most expensive and misunderstood threats facing modern vehicles, especially electric ones. It's not just about how deep the water is, it's about where it goes, how long it stays, and what it touches. Standing water can reach wiring harnesses, sensors, and battery enclosures in ways that aren't immediately obvious. Even brief exposure can trigger long-term problems. Corrosion begins internally, where it's invisible during inspections. Weeks or months later, warning lights appear, systems fail intermittently, repairs become complicated and expensive. In many cases, insurance companies choose to write off the vehicle entirely rather than attempt partial repairs. For electric vehicles, the stakes are even higher. Battery pack replacements can still cost between $9,000 and $12,000, excluding labor. Even minor water intrusion can compromise safety systems, leading insurers to declare the car a total loss. This isn't rare. It's increasingly common in areas affected by flooding or heavy storms. Yet most vehicles are still designed assuming water exposure is minimal and brief. This is where the Model 2 Senior Edition appears to break from industry norms. Early engineering indicators suggest Tesla is upgrading sealing standards around the battery pack and drive units. The goal isn't extreme off-road capability, it's realistic flood survival, roughly 3 feet of standing water for up to 30 minutes. To understand why this matters, consider urban infrastructure. The average curb height in many U.S. cities is between 6 and 8 inches. Flood conditions become dangerous for sedans once water exceeds about 12 inches. Designing components to tolerate nearly triple that depth dramatically reduces the risk of catastrophic damage from a single storm. This doesn't mean drivers should intentionally drive through flooded streets, but it does mean that accidental exposure, such as crossing a low intersection after heavy rain, is far less likely to permanently damage the vehicle. One unexpected weather event shouldn't end a car's life. With these upgrades, Tesla seems to be acknowledging that reality. Corrosion is one of the least visible but most destructive forces affecting vehicles. Tesla already uses aluminum-intensive body structures, but the Model 2 Senior Edition is expected to go further. Advanced anti-corrosion coatings are likely being applied to underbody components, fasteners, and suspension mounting points. These coatings are tested using accelerated salt spray testing, measured in hours. Many economy cars are rated for around 500 hours before visible corrosion appears. Tesla is likely targeting over 1,500 hours for critical components. In real-world terms, that difference can translate into 5 to 8 additional years of usable life in salt-heavy states. The benefits go beyond appearance. Reduced corrosion means fewer seized bolts, fewer cracked brake lines, and fewer suspension failures as the vehicle ages. These are the kinds of repairs that don't make cars unsafe immediately, but slowly make them unreliable and expensive to maintain. Preventing corrosion up front is far cheaper than fixing it later.
Weight plays a major role in how vehicles age. Heavier cars place more stress on suspension components, bushings, and mounting points. Over time, that stress accelerates wear. By optimizing the use of aluminum and coated alloys, Tesla can reduce overall vehicle mass by an estimated 150 to 250 pounds compared to steel-heavy competitors. Less weight means less force transmitted through the suspension when driving over potholes or uneven pavement. It also reduces fatigue on fasteners and joints. Combined with improved corrosion resistance, weight reduction helps the car maintain structural integrity over long periods of use. This approach prioritizes durability rather than short-term performance metrics. It's a quiet but meaningful shift, especially for drivers who plan to keep their vehicles for many years. Water resistance isn't just about sealing, it's also about what happens after exposure. The Model 2 platform is expected to integrate guided drainage paths that move water and road brine away from sensitive areas within seconds. This reduces the amount of time moisture remains trapped against structural components. Trapped moisture is one of the primary causes of long-term corrosion, even in vehicles with aluminum frames. By minimizing exposure time, Tesla reduces the likelihood of gradual degradation. This kind of engineering doesn't show up in brochures, but it has a massive impact on how vehicles age. As drivers age, sensitivity to vertical motion increases. Rough pavement, potholes, and uneven surfaces create small jolts that accumulate over time. Sport-tuned suspensions amplify these motions, making everyday driving more fatiguing. The Model 2 Senior Edition is expected to use softer spring rates and revised damper tuning optimized for speeds under 45 miles per hour. This is where most daily driving actually happens, especially for older drivers. Reducing low-speed vertical harshness by even 15 to 20% can significantly improve comfort. The goal isn't a floaty ride, it's a calmer one. Expansion joints feel muted. Driveway transitions feel smoother. Over long periods, this reduces physical fatigue and increases confidence behind the wheel. Thanks to its floor-mounted battery pack, the Model 2 maintains a low center of gravity, estimated around 18 to 20 inches above the ground. This allows Tesla to soften the suspension without compromising stability. Many compact crossovers rely on stiff suspension setups to control body roll caused by higher centers of gravity. Tesla doesn't need to make that trade-off. The result is a vehicle that feels planted without being harsh. This balance is particularly important for older drivers who often prioritize predictability over responsiveness.
Electric vehicles deliver instant torque, which can feel abrupt at low speeds. For the Senior Edition, Tesla is expected to introduce more progressive throttle mapping. Torque output is likely capped more aggressively below parking lot speeds. Steering effort is also expected to be lighter at low speeds, making tight maneuvers easier. Regenerative braking is softened below roughly 20 miles per hour, allowing smoother deceleration unless the brake pedal is intentionally applied. Together, These changes reduce anxiety and make the vehicle feel more predictable in everyday situations. As vehicles become more digital, dashboards have grown busier and brighter. For many older drivers, this complexity isn't just frustrating, it's risky. Reaction time, contrast sensitivity, and near focus clarity decline gradually with age. Large, cluttered displays increase glance time. Even half a second matters. At highway speeds, that's dozens of feet traveled without eyes on the road. Tesla appears to be acknowledging this with a redesigned interface strategy for the Senior Edition. The Senior Edition is expected to introduce a high-contrast display mode with larger text and clearer spacing. Research shows that increasing font size by 20 to 30% can reduce glance time significantly. Brightness is also being managed more intelligently. Instead of overwhelming brightness at night, the system maintains contrast while reducing eye strain. This improves comfort without sacrificing readability. Camera feeds are expected to be cleaner with reduced visual noise. Distance is shown in feet rather than abstract graphics. Driver assistance alerts trigger earlier and more gradually, giving drivers more time to react. Even an extra half second of warning can add dozens of feet of stopping distance. For older drivers, that margin matters. Essential controls like climate, defrost, lights, and wipers are expected to require fewer taps. Reducing interactions from 3 taps to 1 lowers distraction and mental effort. This isn't about simplifying technology, it's about making it usable for years, not just impressive on day one. The Model 2 Senior Edition isn't flashy. It doesn't chase headlines. Instead, it focuses on longevity, comfort, and ease of use. It treats aging not as a niche but as a reality. By prioritizing durability and calm usability, Tesla may be redefining what innovation actually means in the automotive world. When you step back, the Model 2 Senior Edition isn't about specs or spectacle. It's about building a car that still feels dependable after years of storms, rough roads, and daily routines. A vehicle that doesn't punish your body, overwhelm your senses, or quietly fall apart over time. So the real question isn't how exciting a car looks when it's new, but how it feels after 150,000 or even 200,000 miles. Would you choose impressive numbers or lasting peace of mind? Let us know your thoughts below.